Hi, welcome to Architect Tips. The purpose of the channel is to teach you some quick tips in Photoshop tailored towards architectural visualization, which will hopefully speed up your workflow. Let's dive right in. The next few tips I'd like to run through are to do with the Layers tab and how we can change a few options in here just to make the visibility and the workflow of this area just a little bit easier. So by default, the thumbnail size of each layer is set to small. To change this, if you right click on the thumbnail of any layer, you can change this from small to medium or to large. I actually prefer to keep it a large so you can really see what is on each layer quite visibly. The only downside is if you have multiple layers, you will have to scroll through those, but for me, I'd rather still see what is on each layer and keep that this size as my default. Another option on here is if you have layer bounds or document bounds. This is clipping the thumbnail size to a document or a layer bound. By default, it's set at document bounds. If I was to change this to layer bounds in this particular case, there'll be no change visibly here with these particular layers because they are the size of the document I'm working on or the image I'm working on. To highlight this, I'm just going to change this back to document bounds and just drag in a 2D asset, which is very likely what you'll be doing with your visualizations, people, trees, etc. In this case, I've just dragged a 2D person, drop him in the scene, and here you can see that you've got his relation of where he's positioned in the document, and that's shown here in the thumbnail. If you have a very small asset, so if I scale him down, it's very hard now to see what is even in that layer. So if you have multiple layers, this is not a great workflow to identify what's on what. And if you're not very good at naming, then the thumbnail is a very good quick way of seeing what's on each layer. So changing this to the layer bounds option just shows me what is on that layer. So I only have him on that layer. So that is only what is shown in the thumbnail right there. So this is my preferred option of when I'm in the layer tab, how I can identify what's on each layer. So I keep this as my default. Also, if you right click on the eye, this is where you can actually change the color of each group you've made. So you can change each individual one to different colors like so. And this again is a very good way to identify different groups within your composition or your image structure. This can also be done at the same time as when you do your actions, which was in the previous video. I'll leave a link below. The only downside with this is if you create a layer within this group, so make a new layer, and then if I wanted to put that into a different group, it still keeps the same color of the group of where it was made. So you have to manually go in, right click on the eye, and then change it to the color of that particular group that you've changed it to. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, it would be really appreciated if you give it a like and subscribe if you don't want to miss out on more useful tips. Thank you for watching.